That's it.
We'll introduce this evening's lineup, and then it will be followed by Star Spangled Banner. For Sycamore this evening, at attack, number 4, Robinson. Number 16, Wright. Number 10, Young. At midfield, number 9, Miller. Number 13, Rafa. And number 5, Bartle. At defense, number 19, Kelly. Number 27, Banks. And number 11, Wallace. And in goal, number 35, Chris Parker. And for your Indian Hill Braves, at attack, number 20, Eddie Ferrugia. Number 16, Will Bowler. And number 39, Sean Chamberlain. At midfield, number 1, Matt McCaw. Number 10, Cole Cousineau. And number 8, Adam Tulliver. At defense, number 5, Ross Bextemuller. Number 6, Alex Cole. And number 7, Ryan Bartell. And in goal, number 11, Chris Stockley. And now, ladies and gentlemen, if you could please face the flag. And Indian Hill student Abigail Ottenjohn will sing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly rim and the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars rid apparel the sky? O'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of our peace and the home of all brave?
Thank you, Eddie.
Hi, hello, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Tomahawk Stadium tonight, where the Sycamore Aviators look to uproot this Indian Hill team that, after a big win over this Marymount Warriors team, look to come on and build some momentum against a big week against St. X and Upper Arlington. Hello, Paul Nyhart, joined for IHTN's broadcast of tonight's big game. Looks like Sycamore and Indian Hill right now are joining for the coin toss in midfield, where a big matchup is something we definitely can anticipate here.
The new 2003 limited edition golf hat.
Prior to tonight's game was the ceremony commemorating Indian Hill's Division II state championship victory last year. Indian Hill's team, at least what was left of them from the underclassmen of last year, were honored as long as with a few remainder players from that team of 2002 that went all the way to take the Division II state crown, as we're almost underway here from Tomahawk Stadium. Taking the face-off for Indian Hill is going to be Cole Cousineau, and the ground ball comes out loose to Sycamore, which will start the game with first possession. Already Sycamore pushes it up the field with great defense from behind coming from Cole Cousineau. Sycamore swings it around, try to get some offense going earlier on in this game as we're just underway here at Tomahawk Stadium. It's number 13 for Sycamore, Todd Ropa, getting the start tonight, a senior. Passes it off to number 9, Randy Miller, who's also a senior midfielder for this very experienced Sycamore team. They're swinging around here, playing pretty slow pace so far, trying to get through this Indian Hill defense, as it's knocked away nicely by Ross Bexmuller, who comes up as Indian Hill will start their first possession of this game. Actually, I know he's having trouble struggling to pick up the ball here, Ross is, but finally he gets the possession and clears it out to Eddie Ferrugia, who makes a nice move to get around his defender and finally pick up the possession as he passes it off to Cole Cousineau, who passes high to Sean Chamberlain, who had a beautiful shot attempt if he could have brought that in. So Indian Hill blows a shot opportunity here and turns over the possession to Sycamore.
Possession to the Aviators.
Sycamore's going to try to regain possession here, but it's missed. And Eddie Ferrugia had a chance to bring it up there and try to put it back in, but he just couldn't do it. And Indian Hill blows another opportunity to have a fast break there, as things are starting off cold here for both teams, as it's a cold, gloomy May night here at Tomahawk Stadium. Speaking of gloomy, my color commentator Bobby Schmidt couldn't make it tonight due to illnesses, with SARS coming around. It's a nice save by Chris Stokely. Other viruses, pneumonias, etc., etc. He couldn't make it here tonight, so for the time being, I'm flying solo. Nonetheless, Indian Hill looks to push it up here under the strength of Matt McCaw, who takes it across. Adam Tauber passes to Matt McCaw, excuse me. Indian Hill looking to keep it around the perimeter here, just waiting to find a niche in this defense to attack. Adam Tauber swinging it around. Looking for someone to dish to. He's going to drive in and pass it off to Eddie, but it couldn't get there as it's deflected by a Sycamore defender. Cleared by Sycamore, but it's thrown over the Sycamore offender's head, and it's going to be a first turnover for Sycamore at this point.
Possession to Indian Hill.
So Indian Hill's going to get possession here, and they're going to try to get something going. Try to see what they can do here early on. As I'm now joined by Indian Hill junior varsity player Mike Hopewell.
How you doing?
How you doing, Mike? Glad we could have you alongside today for your excellent analysis. As we're 9 minutes left in the first quarter here, both teams are scoreless. Mike, you're a JV player. You know the score with this team. Do you expect the Sycamore team to give Indian Hill much resistance early on?
Yeah, they're a good defensive team. So, yeah.
That says it all right there, folks. As Indian Hill had a shot opportunity there, they put it up and they just they couldn't make it happen there. And looks like the Sycamore goalie was a little perturbed there. Mike, did you see anything there unfamiliar?
No.
Now, Mike, explain your status on the JV team. You're a freshman sensation, as we all know.
Yeah.
And, Bobby was sick tonight, so we're glad to have you along in the booth.
Oh, yeah.
Your first commentary debut, so if you get nervous by any means, just hold my hand and we'll get through this, all right?
Oh, no.
That's what I'm here for.
Good.
Nonetheless, Sycamore around the perimeter, looking to attack this Indian Hill defense, as we're still scoreless here, which the past few games Indian Hill's played, that's been a rare oddity.
Get out of there, guys.
It's like a loose scramble there as Alex Cole comes up with the dig.
Former midi, Alex Cole.
Excuse me?
He used to play midi, so
This is a nice shift from him. First year playing defense from what I hear.
yeah. Yep. He's got a lot of speed.
Now, you know, the midfielder and the defense, what's the big difference in the shift there from position to position? I mean, what's the biggest thing to get used to?
Well, obviously there's that long stick you got to get used to playing defense with that, but other than that, it's same sport. So, you know, same ball.
Same tools, speed, you know,
Yeah.
endurance.
Yeah.
Mike, your position you play?
Goalie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of a different perspective then.
Yeah, that is. Got a bigger stick. That's.
Something you're probably not unfamiliar with, I guess.
Oh yeah, no, not at all.
Nonetheless, here, Sycamore's seems like to have more possessions here early on. They're taking more advantage, and they've been on the offense more than the defense.
A good drive by.
Shot on goal there by Sycamore's. Looks like that was number 6. I believe that was Stephen Collins. Not any relations to Tom Collins, I'm sure, but nonetheless, that's an excellent shot attempt by him that just went left as we have a first substitution here, and it's going to be Mike Dorn. Mike Dorn of Indian Hill, who's playing his first action due to unseen circumstances. And, you know, we're great to have him. Indian Hill, Steve, it's great to have him back. And speaking of great to have back, we got Bobby Schmidt, who the Indian Hills color announcer, who we suspected maybe he had SARS, maybe he had some type of pneumonia, some type of viral.
Had a little run-in with the police.
That's what we'd expect from an IHTN announcer.
Yeah.
But that's fine. We're glad to have you. And we got a stoppage in the action here. Hopefully this will make for a good story, as we've had very little action here in the first quarter, as Indian Hill and Sycamore are still tied. Only 5 minutes into play. Now, Bob, both teams are getting off to a pretty slow start here. And, you know, both these teams are struggling, trying to find each other's offensive niches here. So what exactly happened that the cops held you back then, I guess? Or is it one of those things that needs to be undisclosed?
It's one of those things that I'd prefer not to say, just for my own personal
Well, we'll
sake.
make something up and say they found somebody, they confused you with somebody else, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure.
Could have happened anyway.
Could have happened to anybody, you know. It's not an oddity these days to have your picture in the post office.
Never be too careful.
Nonetheless, senior night before this game was honoring these Indian Hill players from last year's team. Truly a remarkable experience, may I say. But nonetheless, we haven't missed too much so far. This Sycamore team, Bob, I was talking to Mike Copwell, the JV player, sadly had to leave us. Although not due to police incidents. He left us, and he did drop a bomb that said he didn't believe, well, you know, of sorts. He didn't believe that Sycamore was going to give Indian Hill much resistance.
Yeah, you know, that seems to have been the the theory or the feed all week from these Indian Hill lacrosse players. Let's hope that's the case.
Yeah. Nonetheless, Sycamore's going to push it up here and try to score the first goal of the game. Alex Cole plays aggressive defense. He's all over him like a cheap suit. He spins around, shoots on the goal. Nice move by Sycamore's number, I believe, is that number 19?
Looks like it.
I think that might have been Mike Kelly. No relation to Art Kelly, I think, but it looks like that's Mike Kelly, who had a nice move to get around Alex Cole and shoot around, and he went glove side on him, and the hardest shot they say for a goalie to defend is that lower right shot, and he whizzed it right by him.
Especially for a left-handed goalie.
Sure. Glove side, Bob.
Yeah, glove side. That was a great play by Art Kelly. I remember Mike Kelly there.
Mike Kelly, yeah. No relation to Art Kelly. Previously established.
Right. The field surprisingly doesn't look too bad after Indian Hill's annual music fest today.
That's right. Indian Hill had their big music fest today, which is short, of course, from Music Festival, in which the students all, in a clamorous fashion, stormed the field and ate many treats and delights and stomped on it about. But this field, which is brand spanking new turf here at Tomahawk Stadium, withstood it, and looks like there's very little or no impact that had.
Unfortunately, some of the students didn't get to see the effect of the brand new light bulbs and all these lights either.
Well, they're seeing it tonight, Bob, because they increased the wattage here, as everybody knows, and right now Indian Hill needs to increase their play, as they are down 1-0 to the Sycamore team, and Indian Hill right now is coming out a little lackluster, much similar to what we saw at Marymount earlier this week, Bob.
I don't see a large student body here from Indian Hill. It's very surprising. It doesn't look like a lot of the IH crowd has really showed up tonight. I think the weather's keeping them away, maybe a ball.
However, the Aviators are they're here and they're flying around. They're pretty rambunctious. They're not to the Mo Maniac level yet, but I'd say they're just barely a notch below.
And nothing can compare to those wonderful sights Iota fans we got to see.
With the clappers, sure.
Oh, with the clappers.
Very
Just
intense,
a
I'll
week
tell you
ago,
that
yeah.
much. Very intense.
Well, I was under the impression that the Indian Hill Rangers were going to be enforcing that all opponents or visiting members must sit on the opposite side of the field. Had you heard wind of that?
Well, you know, Bob, you know more than I do, and you seem to have a pretty friendly relationship with the police at this time, but I'm not exactly sure. There's a shot there by Alex Cole, who came sideline to sideline. He went all the way down, got a shot on goal, and it just skipped above. He had a nice shot there, and he came from sideline to sideline there just to make it interesting.
Possession will go over to
Our previous announcer, Mike Coppola, just established that that Alex Cole was playing his first year of defense. He used to be a midi, short for midfielder, naturally. And the transition was one that was nothing to really write home about, but still, it was a transition at that.
No, but what a great job that transition he's done this year for the Braves. He's come out strong.
As only a sophomore, too, you know.
Yeah, and that's the great thing. He's got a great combination. You know, he's a strong kid. He knows when to use his power, he knows when not to, and he knows when to use technique. And that's the reason he's going to be a great defender for Indian Hill years to come.
Sycamore had another shot at the goal there. A long stick defender there, it looks like. We can't see the numbers on these Sycamore guys from the press box up here, which I may mention is very, very, very warm at this time. And we couldn't see it. We couldn't see it. And looks like he had a shot at goal. He just kind of shoved it in there and tried to get maybe a little too cute. We're not sure from our angle. Naturally, this Indian Hill team is going to have the possession back with Chris Stokely at midfield, which he does quite often. These fans chanting for him to play the cross. As Stokely, it looks like he had a time violation right there. He stayed back, was dialing around, then charged forward, and timing was called, I believe.
Wow, what's going on?
Yeah, lots going on here, Bob. These announcers, as we've always said, are pretty hush-hush.
Yeah.
And first a call was made, Indian Hill coaches were jumping, then another call was made, and the Sycamore coaches were jumping. So
Sean Chamberlain is yelling furiously at someone. That's number 39, the senior captain for the Indian Hill Braves, starting attackman. He is furious. It looked like he was laying into Chris Stokely pretty hard. I couldn't really tell. Now Stokely's heading over to the bench, and
looks like Kyle Lear's going to go in
might see
for him.
first
Yeah.
action for Kyle Lear tonight.
That's something Stokely quite frequently does. He goes about, crosses up the field, and sometimes it works for the best, and sometimes it has that kind of consequence. And looks like the coaches are having none of it. And Kyle Lear right now is he's getting into his goalie stuff, and he's really, he's going in there for Stokely, it looks like, Bob.
Did he get called out on a penalty? I mean, I have no idea what's going on. Like you said, we don't get told much up here, and I haven't even seen the signal.
We get free popcorn, but nobody tells us anything about it.
Oh, you know, all the beverages and food you can handle, but
Well,
they don't even give you a call.
Well, they don't. The refs don't give us the time of day, but nonetheless, I guess we don't give them much play anyway. So. Nonetheless, Chris Stokely is indeed standing on the sidelines, as you called, Bob. So it looks like he did get penalized for some matter there. We're not sure what exactly happened. When we figure that out, we'll undoubtedly let our viewing audience, or audience for that matter, know.
Looks like it's going to be a minute for Chris Stokely. So now Kyle Lear, last line of defense for the Braves.
Oh, and the first risky turnover here tonight by Sycamore. Pass by number 13, Todd Ropa. Senior sails high over his teammate's head as it goes to Kyle Lear here. As we said, Indian Hill's goalie, who shows that he throws it wide of Adam Tauber there. First mistake by him tonight as he comes off cold off the bench. Nonetheless, Sycamore pushes it up with a shot on goal here. Nonetheless, it's stopped by Adam Tauber. Good decision there by Sycamore to attack at Kyle Lear as soon as possible, knowing he's coming cold off the bench, Bob.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Anytime you see a guy come in cold like that, especially a goalie, you want to take advantage of that as well as you can. Braves don't look like they're playing their best lacrosse so far tonight, but they have trouble in that cold weather sometimes. It's getting a little chilly outside.
It's a little nippy out there, I'll say that much, but it's still early. It's supposed to get down even colder tonight, as I said at the beginning. Oh my God, and that should heat things up here at the crowd.
Will Bowman.
Is that Will Bowman?
Will Bowman.
Will Bowman, who we said so much about earlier on. Will Bulmer, the X factor for this Indian Hill team. He's a guy that had to play well for Indian Hill to win. You know, when he played well against Moeller, they got that big win. So hopefully he can play well tonight, so Indian Hill can get this big W right here on senior night. He came across and put that one right where it belonged, and did it in fine fashion.
You really said it. He has been the hidden factor for the Braves all year long in attack. I mean, he's a quiet kid. He doesn't make a lot of noise, but he's come up with some big goals the past couple of weeks that really helped.
Of course, Indian Hill's leading goal scorer is Eddie Ferrugia. However, Eddie is tied on this team in the amount of points with his teammate Sean Chamberlain, who are both averaging 6.88 points per game, which is just incredible.
That's incredible. Yeah, that's something else.
Right now, Indian Hill swinging around to Cole Kuzno. Sean Chamberlain's rotating around through the middle, trying to get the ball for this Indian Hill team. Trying to swing it in somehow. Eddie Ferrugia, Indian Hill's goal scorer. Their main man, lacrosse star, if you will. Trying to receive the ball. He wants that ball across the middle, it looks like, Bob.
Yeah, looked like Sean was looking for it and didn't get it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of Eddie's success, though, can be, not to take anything away from him by any stretch, but teams have been so worried and paranoid about Sean Chamberlain. I think they've loosened up a little bit and underestimated Eddie, and he's really getting an opportunity to shine this year.
Yeah, all those double teams on Sean certainly are going to help his teammates, such as Will Bulmer and Eddie Ferrugia, definitely. Certainly aren't going to hurt, I'll tell you that
And
much.
you can't forget at this point Matt McCall, who has played absolutely unbelievable.
Super role player, yes.
This year. I mean, he's been. You can't even.
And there he is, right there. It's almost like they're listening to us, you know. That makes at least one. There's Eddie. Here's number 20 there, Eddie Ferrugia. Put that one right where it belongs for Indian Hill. Heads it goes to the net, and Indian Hill now has a 2-1 lead. So they've turned this deficit into a lead just like that after a nice assist from Matt McCall, the aforementioned player. Well, they made us look good there, Bob.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's something that so many people do. But nonetheless, we'd like to point that out as Eddie, you know, said something that we said, a positive comment. And nonetheless, here comes Cole Kuzno at the face-off, and they're going to call him for a legal procedure there, it looks like.
Been seeing more and more out of that from Cole lately. Wouldn't you say, Paul?
I think just, you know, we expected him so often during the season to play so well, and I think maybe fatigue's a factor. And plus, the Indian Hills competition has all gotten better and better nonetheless. So.
Me and Paul would like to apologize to you folks who could not, or who were waiting for us to do the Marymount game and we were unable to.
Yeah, that's right. The ICRC game, which is the Intercommunicable Regulatory Commission, broadcast the Marymount game, and unfortunately, we couldn't announce it.
But
we were at the game. We were at the game, Bob. So.
We were at the game. It was a great game. Braves didn't play their best lacrosse, but they definitely played well enough to
get the win.
Yeah, to take care of Marymount.
Definitely.
You know, those gentlemen who took over, you know, did a great job, I thought.
Nonetheless, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Paul Nyhart alongside Bobby Schmidt. We've got 1:18 left in this first quarter. Indian Hill, after a 1-0 deficit, now has a 2-1 lead, with Sycamore back in Indian Hill scoring position. Swung around the goal, wild pass here. One of our first big whistles of the night here. That's going to switch possession, I believe. Bobby, you know what's going on out there? We're getting some kind of hand signals here from Blue. Okay, he just pointed at me. I'm not sure what that meant, but he said 5-2-1. It's almost like he's giving me digits down there.
Yeah. Area code. But
8, 6, 7.
Nevertheless, number 5, Ross Bexinger, is in the penalty box for the Braves right now. He'll be in there for
there he goes. No flag was thrown there, so we can't assume really if that was a personal foul or whatnot. So
Mike Dorn returns to the sideline. It's nice to see him back.
Mike Dorn, after being back after a bit of a, you know, that's a thing, and he's back after a 2-game thing, and he's back, and this Indian Hill defense is better off with him. Definitely.
Braves definitely caught a lot of grief for the events that took place a little bit less than a week ago. I don't think they deserve, you know, what had happened. You know, it was an intense game. You know, we're not here to point fingers, but some of the things that have been said.
Excellent steal there by number 16 of Sycamore, George Wright. He pushes it up, and it's stopped by Chris Stokely there, who then pushes it up by Danny Johnson. As we mentioned, Chris Stokely went out of the game temporarily, and Kyle Lear went in. Nonetheless, Kyle Lear went back out. Now Chris Stokely took over his pole position. Chris Stokely, a senior captain on this team, is expected. A lot's expected of him, and usually he always follows through as he's one of the Braves' most solid players.
Chris Stokely has had a great season for the Indian Hill Braves in goal this year. Saving probably 4 times as many as he's let in, and that's what you want to do.
That's just a rough guesstimate.
Yeah, no, that's
that's not a stat. We'll have our stat guys check that out for you.
Yeah, that's not a stat. That's not official, but he's played unbelievable. What a great senior year he has had, and hopefully he can play like this for the rest of the year. And if he does, it's going to be something to score.
Nonetheless, here we got Sycamore swinging around the perimeter. 5 seconds left. Shot stopped by Chris Stokely. Swinging around, 2 seconds left. And that's going to be the end of the first quarter. Well, Sycamore made it exciting, trying to tie it up with the first quarter running down. And they did that and then some as Indian Hill got a shot off, flung it down, and it looks like right now, Bobby, we're going to turn to you as we have a commentary. As I'll step out of the press box and just go down to the field and get a commentary on just what happened.
Okay, sounds good. A little bit of a Hail Mary shot there by Sycamore at the last second to try and squeeze one in on Chris Stokely. Paul Nyhard heading down to the field. Maybe trying to get a little bit of what had happened there. Chris Stokely, not quite sure what had happened. It was an interesting play by the Braves. Chris Stokely kind of held the ball in about midfield for quite some time, and all of a sudden just took off. They threw a flag pretty quick, and he went out. I haven't seen anything like that in a long time, so it'll be interesting to see what that call was.
Softball, baseball, girls lacrosse, and boys lacrosse seniors.
Braves, I think, at this point planned on being up a little bit more than 2-1, but it is what it is. They're going to have to play a little harder if they're planned on putting the Sycamore team away before halftime, which we all know that they can do. We've seen it time and time again. And, I mean, they definitely got the firepower, and they definitely got the defense, all the components to do so. You know, it'll be a good win for the Braves. Both teams taking the field. Cole Kuzno at number 20 for Sycamore. Vital Carter squared off to take the face-off. As you all know, Cole Kuzno is second to none in face-offs here in Cross. Doesn't lose to many, hates to lose. Out there working hard.
And we're starting here with the second quarter of action here as I'm back now and just giving Bobby a little taste of his own medicine there. Just dropping out for a good minute or two. Bobby, anything big happened since then? Or?
Nothing big.
Okay.
We were waiting on you to. Did you find anything out about what had happened down there on the field?
Yeah, I did get. I got debriefed just a little from the guys in the van. It seems like Stokely just set out just a penalty. Looks like it was against his own will, so he wasn't too pleased with that. But nonetheless, he is put back in. Shot by Eddie Perugia here. Swings right by him. A great pass just to get it in, Eddie, as he had enough chance to think about where he wanted to put that shot and how much speed he wanted to put on as he received a great pass by, who was that, Bob? Do you see it?
Looked like Will Vollmer, actually.
All right, Vollmer. Nonetheless, Sycamore is going to have the possession here. We got a slow-scoring game, but Sean Chamberlain stealed it. He's going to have a shot at the goal. No, he passes it up and slips on this brand spanking new turf. He gets back up. He finds his cut man, Eddie Perugia, and we got ourselves a beautiful, beautiful goal there. Great find by Sean Chamberlain of Indian Hill after an excellent steal. He could have gone with that and shot that himself and tried to get the goal for himself, but no, he passed it up, and that's why he's one of the leading point scorers in the state of Ohio.
He's always looking to pass it off and try and get one of his teammates for a better shot. And he did just that. He found Eddie Perugia, and he, of course, put it in for the goal. I was talking while you're trying to get that information, Paul, about how the Braves need to play well in the second quarter to try and put Sycamore away early. like I said, we've seen them do it time and time again. That the game's almost been over by halftime. And,
Sure.
I know that the Braves are planning on doing so, hoping to do so here with Sycamore.
Well, right now, momentum is definitely on their side, as after being down 1-0, Indian Hills come back with 3 fast goals, and however, that shot fires wide, but not wide enough to be to go by. It looks like the youth lacrosse team out there. Fiery little bunch they are, as they want to let that one get by them. Once we find out who those rascals are, we'll let you know, but looks like they're going to be the backstop for this field tonight. Nonetheless, free ball here. Come up by David Karyakis, who passes to Will Vollmer, who can't find it. So that's another costly mistake after a heads-up play there by David Karyakis just to come up with that.
Actually, those kids, I believe, are from Long Island, Sean's hometown.
Sure. Whoa.
There's a cross festival tomorrow night, and Sean and I had talked to him earlier in the week, and he was telling me that some of these kids had come down to watch this game, to watch him play, and they also had a game at Lacrosse Festival.
Sean Chamberlain, obviously a fine young chap who will be attending Stony Brook next year. He's a role model, obviously, if these kids traveled a good 1,200 miles or so just to see him play. And
Oh,
right now, he's not leaving any doubt, Bob.
No, he's a great role model. He's a stand-up guy. He's going to go a long way in life, I think.
We've seen him grow up all these years.
Yeah,
It's tough.
Yeah.
Coming in now is Scott Maurer, number 24. He fires in after Mike Doran gets a blow on the sidelines.
Well, it's hard to see these senior nights. I mean, these kids who you've watched, just grow up their entire life are now, they're now leaving, and it's hard to watch. It almost brings a bit of a tear to your eye, but we won't do that now.
Yeah, we'll wait till the season's over,
Yeah.
and the checks have all been written and the trophies handed out and
Yeah.
stuff. That
Oh, I agree.
to cry, because it's not going to do you any good now.
Right now, we're working on a state championship.
A fired shot there by David Karyakis. He tries too, but he left something behind there, that being the ball, which is a pivotal part to this game.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, a great job just to get that back and go for a 2-shot attempts in a row. Oh, this is getting hairy down here now. Eddie Frugia thinks, he fires, and he whizzes high to give those Long Island kids a little action.
Yeah.
He put a lot of mustard on that one. That one's got some serious English. That one's rolling around back and forth, left and right, up and down. That one is just really whizzed by. Nonetheless, it's going to be Sean Chamberlain, Indian Hills headstone right here. He fires in. Eddie Ferrugia, I believe.
Danny Johnson.
Hey, Danny Johnson, Eddie Ferrugia, Sean Chamberlain. Hey, they're all on the same team. It's an Indian Hill goal, and it's an Indian Hill 4-1 lead. And like you said, Bob, this Indian Hill team needs to pull out strong, come out strong in the second quarter just to do that. That's what they're doing right now.
Got the firepower to do it. Let's just see it now.
And that's going to signal a Sycamore timeout. As this Sycamore coach smells something he doesn't like. And right now it's a 4-1 deficit as Indian Hill's fired up, and they're coming out on senior night playing a great game.
Well, I don't blame him. 4 unanswered goals here. His team not playing very well. The ball spent more time down and around the Sycamore defense than it has in the Braves. That's not what you want to see if you're an opposing coach.
Definitely not. Well, that crowd we were talking about of Indian Hill student body night in here, they're showing up as of now, and it's a late arriving crowd at best, it looks like. But
Yeah,
it's still-
showing up fashionably late.
Sure, but that's only to be expected.
Yeah, mine wasn't very fashionable.
Well, it was understandable though. That's the key. Because we've all had our run-ins before with the police department. We understand what it feels like to be mixed up as an individual, so we'll leave that be. Save that for the post-game
Yeah,
report.
save that for the locker room.
Yeah. That's just one of those things, you don't know until you actually get in the locker room and talk to the coaches after the game. Nonetheless, here, 8:52 left in the second quarter. Indian Hill fired up, coming out in the second quarter, really taking charge and slowly taking over this game. Sycamore called a timeout there as they felt this one maybe slipping away, and this one, they don't watch out, it very easily could.
I think Braves came out maybe a little bit too cocky. I don't think that they had a lot of respect for the Sycamore team, which I don't understand. They don't seem to be a bad team by any stretch, but that seemed to be the mentality of the Braves coming into this game. And, I think that now that they're getting serious here, they're going to put it away, and Coach Gavin's going to help them with that.
Oh, almost definitely. Nonetheless, here it's Cole Cousineau here taking the face-off here as Mike Doran rushes in. Oh, that's Matt McCall rushes in to get the possession.
The ever-mentioned Matt McCall.
Aforementioned, definitely. He's Indian Hill's most solid player next to a good 4 or 5 guys, but he's definitely a force to be reckoned with for these other teams. You know, as Indian Hill swings around the offense, you know, when it comes down to state playoff times, I think when Indian Hill, when coaches watch Indian Hill's tape, you know, they're in the playoffs, what they'll notice is there's not maybe 1 or 2 guys that really stand on this Indian Hill team. It's just they play as a team exactly that. You know, you got Vollmer you have to worry about. If you double him, you got Chamberlain. If you double him, you got Eddie. If you double him, you got Matt. I mean, there's just so many weapons. Not exactly of mass destruction per se. They just have so many they can fire at you. They score goals. As Will Vollmer here sizzles one to the left. It's something a lot of teams just don't have, Bob.
That's a great point, Paul. You know, a lot of these guys, you know, played varsity last year, were on the varsity team, but didn't play a lot. Will Vollmer was actually a JV member last year, part of the junior varsity. And Coach Gavin Chamberlain has done a great job of gelling these guys. And also the fact that a lot of these guys are friends and play, you know, they just, you know, kind of, you know, playing in the backyard together so much that eventually you just start to get used to it.
Nonetheless, Sycamore here is looking for their first goal in about 10 minutes, but that sure isn't going to help. As a pass there, a lackluster pass there at best from number 16. That's George Wright from Sycamore. Sails wide of his man. Indian Hill's going to get a possession here to widen this lead to 4. And with 7:30 left in the second quarter, Indian Hill has a 4-1 lead.
Adam Tolver bringing it up uncontested.
Pushes it up. This Sycamore team looks like they'd rather be somewhere else right now.
Yeah, they don't look like they totally brought their A game.
As much as their cheering section. As a shot there, sizzles wide left, and that just didn't have the trick for it right there.
Yeah, very quiet section for both sides, actually.
Maybe the weather, Bob.
I definitely think it's the weather. I mean, that has to have something to do with it, keeping a lot of these folks inside. And with the threat of thunderstorms, I mean, it's, you know, gray skies across the board here, folks, and could be in for a nasty one.
Maybe just the admiration of a brand spanking new revamped Indian Hill Tomahawk Stadium. You got Mount Indian Hill overlooking this field.
Yeah, Mount Indian Hill, what a beautiful sight it is, too.
Well, it's getting smaller, though, so we got to cherish it while it's still here.
Got the dump trucks and the bulldozers up top.
Very retro, it looks like.
Yeah.
Like we said, they'll only be here so long, so yeah, cherish while it's there. Nonetheless, Sycamore's offense swinging around, trying to get something going here, as they haven't scored a goal in the 10 minutes, and they really, really need to get something going, or else they're going to get left in the whitewash here of Indian Hill's offensive attack.
Yeah, and once you get down, you know, once you're losing to the Braves, it's hard to come back. And
just ask Marymount. Yeah. Nonetheless here, Mike Dorn tries to scrum up for the ball, and a nice effort there by Sycamore's number 24, Lydell Carter, to shake him off. Ryan Bartell shovels it to Chris Stokely, who after his mistake here is still going to come out of the goal and play his same technique. As the crowd is shouting, Chris, in a very Rudy-like fashion.
Yeah.
Maybe to get him to stop, or maybe just to cheer him on in his efforts to be an individual. Nonetheless, it's Cole Cousineau. He gets swallowed up by 3 defenders, so he brings it back out. Swinging around. And we got a call here, and that's going to be against Indian Hill.
Change of possession.
Looks like he tapped his elbow there, and whether or not that was a Tommy John issue, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Tennis elbow, I think, got it.
I'm not sure. These calls here, they just come and they go, so we're not sure what happened. Nonetheless, Sycamore ends up with the ball here. In case you were wondering, as I have a tendency to read people's minds, directing tonight for a new change for Indian Hill, we have Jeff Farmer, a rookie sensation. He's a new guy. As Clark Brent's getting his scheduled day off. We have Jeff Farmer in there, and we also believe maybe Matt Farmer's just the only one directing. I'm not sure. We'll check on that at halftime from our stat guys. Nonetheless, it's Paul Nyhart here alongside Bobby Schmidt in an excellent ball game as of now for the Indian Hill, which is on the Smiling side of the scoreboard as they lead 4-1.
Clark Brent, what a great job he does for us, you know, night in and night out,
right,
as the director of this, and it's he deserves a day off.
Indian Hill's right now we have very little senior leadership besides that of Luke Wanell's. A nice steal by Eddie Frugias. He passes it up to Will Vollmer, who waits for his other teammates to come down. Indian Hill is lacking any seniors right now. Eddie Frugia fires it into Danny Johnson, who shakes off his man and comes
Flag
back.
down.
Flag down. We got laundry on the field right here.
So that's probably going to work to the advantage of the Braves here shortly as they try and make something happen before Sycamore will probably be a man down.
You have to wonder if they see that flag, Bob.
Yeah.
And maybe they did as Cole Kuzino fired a ill-advised shot there.
Offsides.
Looks like possibly offsides here. Looks like some guys are heading for the penalty box.
It's on Sycamore.
The boo-boo box, if you will. Well, it's 4:22 left in this first half. And like we said, Indian Hills not played great, but this Sycamore team hasn't played well. So when you put 2 and 2 together, you get 4, and right now it's a 4-1 lead for Indian Hill.
Number 10, Alex Young in the penalty box. And he'll be in there for a minute. Now there's another flag thrown. It looks like it's going to be on Sycamore once again. So that will put them 2 men down.
Guys, go to goal!
These fans right now, they're not having any of that call. Because the call, here comes it right here, all right. Offsides.
Same call once again.
Wow. So whether or not anybody will serve any time for that, we're not sure. Well, we have a bit of a stoppage in play. This is a good reminder to remind our viewing audience, or audience for that matter, that this is a copyrighted broadcast under the tutelage of the Indian Hill Television Network, the most comprehensive student-run television network in the country, which is played back live, tape delay style, by courtesy of the ICRC Intercommunicator Regulatory Commission, which we thank them for providing equipment and the time and the day for all this stuff. Nonetheless, Indian Hill swinging around their offense. Bobby, you notice anything different about Indian Hill's style of play right now? Oh, nice pass down. Eddie Perugia, who scores, I believe that might be his 4th goal of the night here.
After that, no.
Yeah. You know, Eddie Perugia, who's just been doing that left and right, up and down all year long. He's that's just been a tendency. And these fans, you know, they're excited about it, but they just almost expect that from Eddie, you know.
But you know, Paul, listen to this crowd. They just don't sound as into it or like as if there's as many people here.
Yeah.
As we normally get. It's just not very loud tonight. And everybody knows at Tomahawk Stadium, when it gets going, it gets real loud.
Sure. Hey, we saw them in the Dublin Toyota game because things definitely got going there. Yeah.
That was unbelievable.
When things got going, we heard plenty of noise. In fact, maybe a little bit too much of it. If you know what I mean, and if you've ever served time, I'm sure you do. Nonetheless, here we get a scramble for the ball. And Sycamore comes up with it. Nice aggressive play there by Sycamore's number 3, Dan Hoyland. I'm sure that's pronounced correctly. Adam Tolliver riding his man right here, trying to get something going as my volume has been severely pumped up, which is a good thing if you're the announcer.
Right.
Right, there we go. All right. Nonetheless, Ryan Bartel riding his man. Oh, he lets him get around, and a shot that looked like it almost went in. Chris Stokely rebounds, gets back up. Aggressive defense by Mike Doran. He comes back. Oh, and a nice play to get him down on the ground. Oh, yeah, look at this. David Kiriakis is chucking guys left and right here. He's taking guys out as if they're inexistent. He's hitting them hardest. Oh, what's this all about here, Bob? As you see there, it looks like Danny Johnson's going to take it out. The freshman sensation. He's not a big guy.
No.
But Danny Johnson, number 18 right there, he's
wiry.
He's a wiry and he's very coily.
Physique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's give him an off season to put some pounds on it.
Oh yeah. Well, there's a goal.
And another goal there by Scott Maurer, who he just got back into the game and he didn't waste any time to put that one in the net. And you know, that shot was fired so fast, it didn't look like you know, Sycamore's goalkeeper there.
Don't mention his name a lot as far as the goals go, but he does a great job for the Braves at Midi, you know, helps setting up a lot of plays, and it's good to see him get in on the action a little bit.
And Sean Chamberlain, the headstone of this team, says he might be the fastest guy on the field. You know, maybe the fastest guy on his team. You know, when they play against good competition, might just be the fastest guy out there. So that's saying something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lacrosse, that really helps too.
Well, you got to have speed, you know.
Right.
And a stick. That's the key thing. You know,
and a helmet.
The ball's supplied by others, but I mean, the stick's your beef, I guess. Nonetheless, a nice save there by after the shot by Cole Kuzino by goalkeeper Ryan Ferris. As we're reaching the 2-minute mark here in the first half of play, Indian Hill on the brink of spanking the Sycamore team 6-1, as it is. Sycamore's got to get a goal here. They need an answer to answer this Indian Hill team after they've seemingly just been inexistent. You know, like their crowd's just been shut down and they just haven't been here this whole game. Sycamore, they're in the scoring zone. They get a chance here. They're going to fire a shot.
Stopped by Chris Stokely.
Ooh, yeah, there it is. Chris Stokely coming out of the box, which is making the Indian Hill coaches incredibly nervous. He's going to do it anyway. He's toddling the ball around as he passes it off to Cole Kuzno.
This is that same thing that we just saw not too long ago, him bringing it up like that.
Yeah,
Very interesting.
He was very suave that time, though. I think
Yeah.
he changed his demeanor just a tad. 1 minute and 20 seconds left to play in this half. Eddie Ferrugia passes it off down.
It's been a fast half of lacrosse, wouldn't you say?
Well, you've only been here for half of it, Bob. So.
Oh, I was here more.
Right.
I was here with 9.
Yeah, if it definitely has been. I think that's a factor that.
There haven't been as many penalties we're used to seeing.
Exactly. The play has been physical, albeit, but it's not as many penalties. Plus, Indian Hill's defense definitely put the kibosh to any scoring effort by the Sycamore team.
Well, also, attackman Eddie Ferrugia told me earlier today that he wasn't planning on Sycamore making very many penalties due to a type of style of defense or a style of play that they use.
Finesse. Oh, great save by Chris Stokely after a nice, excellent shot attempt, and he's pumping his fist and he's cranking his arms and probably saying, "I am the man."
Yeah, something along those lines.
And a timeout by the Braves. Something that almost every game we've telecast this year. It seems like, you know, when he gets under a minute or within a minute left in the half, he likes to call that timeout. Understandably why, to get his offense settled and get a good push.
Yeah.
Good shot attempt here. Bob, what would you expect out of this Indian Hill team? We've seen they like to run that cut play, that wheel play, if you will, where they get the guys coming behind and all of a sudden somebody ends up in the middle. I think they set a pick here or two.
Yeah.
We call it the wheel play here at IHTN, Bob.
Yeah, they love that play. They're definitely going to try and set something up here with 35 seconds to go until halftime. Maybe try and get one last shot off, maybe get another goal. Go up 7-1 at halftime and be up by 6. And that's quite a deficit for Sycamore to try and make up as the conditions outside are not improving.
Right. It's getting gloomy out here.
Yeah.
You know, the shadow's been cast over Mount Indian Hill. And, you know, usually when it gets dark early, that's just a rule of thumb around Indian Hill that means the storms are brewing.
Yeah, for you folks who aren't familiar with Mount Indian Hill or Mount Tomahawk.
Let's see if we can't get a shot of that.
See if we can get a shot by that. Maybe one of our camera guys can.
Just the dirt mountain over there.
Yeah,
Mount Indian Hill is.
One of you guys can get a look over there at Mount Indian Hill.
If not, that's just something for our stat guy. We're back in the action here.
Maybe not.
Sean Chamberlain, with 30 seconds left in this half, he's going to be the man Indian Hill is going to put in charge of getting this goal. He spins around. Still looking. He's got 20 seconds left. Looks like he might take it himself here.
No.
Oh, if Laundry
that's
comes
going to be a penalty.
He was going to take it himself there. He was thinking about shooting it all the way there. And why not? You got it in the hand of your best player. Let him do what he can.
Oh, I mean, I definitely agree. But any one of those guys who would have put the ball in, put the ball in their stick, and good things can happen.
Well, that's the first step.
Yeah.
Looks like taking it out here is going to be Danny Johnson, I believe. Yeah.
Freshman sensation, Danny Johnson.
Amongst the impenetrable fortress that the Long Island Youth Lacrosse League represents. Hey, Danny Johnson fires one low.
I tried to squeak one in a little bit.
And that's probably going to wind on our first
6
half.
seconds.
With 4 seconds too, and that's going to be your first
gonna
half
do it.
after a decent effort by Sycamore. Well, speaking of effort, this Indian Hill team came out. They faced an early 1-0 deficit. Nonetheless, Sycamore had nothing to answer with Indian Hill's 6-0 goal scoring run. And at the end of the first half, Indian Hill 6 and Sycamore 1. We'll see you with plenty of second half action coming up right after these messages on the Indian Hill Television Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a halftime break. You may wish to take this opportunity to visit the concession stand where the food and drinks are complimentary of the Indian Hill Boosters. softball team. Katie Pedersen, accompanied by Gail and Jeff Pedersen. And Stuart.
How about this guy stretching? Hey, let's get a shot of this ref stretching here, guys. That's textbook hamstring right there. And we're back now at the second half as we start with more second half play at Tomahawk Stadium. As we said, tonight is senior night, and during halftime, many of the Indian Hill athletes, actually all the Indian Hill athletes that qualified as seniors went on the field and did what seniors did and acted as seniors.
Now, if you're not graduating, can you still come back next year and have senior night again?
Well, if you're a junior, Bob, absolutely. As you and I will be, I assume.
No, I'm saying as a senior, can you fail?
Oh, you talking red shirt?
Yeah,
or?
yeah,
Oh,
come back
well,
as a senior and have
okay,
another
well,
senior night.
we could have our stat guys check on that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know if that's ever happened or if that doesn't really sound like the student-athlete caliber guy. Nonetheless, Indian Hill in the first half broke out to a 6-1 lead after ironically being down 1-0. And if you don't see the irony in that, ladies and gentlemen, I suggest you pick up a literature book and study the medical works of dramatic, verbal, situational, and other sorts of irony. Nonetheless, here we're still waiting to get back to action here as we're off to a bit of a delay as the senior night awards push us back a little bit. That's only welcome here.
Yeah, senior night put a little bit of delay in things, but it's a well-deserved honor and well-deserved ceremony for those seniors who are athletes this year and who will be parting ways from IH in less than a month now.
Yeah,
coming up.
It's a tough pill to swallow, Bob.
Yeah, yeah. They've only got about 2 weeks of school left before they head off.
Some
to,
of them.
well, at least the majority.
Yeah.
We won't use names, but 99% of the senior class will be headed off to Senior Project, which is a 2-week project that they do and get leave from school and then have to do a presentation on it at the end. But great program.
Speaking of programs, this Indian Hill program right now is looking to get back to the state playoffs. They're looking to get some home field advantage here. As this win over Sycamore definitely would help that. They're already deemed city champs, the first ever to be back-to-back city champs, as they defeated Muller, I believe, about a week and a half ago now. Nonetheless, they got a lead of 6-1 against Sycamore. Paul Nyer alongside Bobby Schmidt taking you all the way home. And this lacrosse game that surely right now doesn't seem to have all the makings of a good one, but nonetheless, a goal here and a goal there by Sycamore, and we could have one of those things.
That was a good point, though. I think that city championship, though, I mean, it's an accomplishment.
Did you say championship dough or chip dough or
chip dough?
Okay.
Yeah, city chip dough.
Okay.
To the Braves, that's not as big of a deal. I think that was one of the minor things. I think they expect that all along, and them winning that was no major accomplishment for them.
Well, I think they're facing the state playoffs the same way as Matt McCaw pushes the ball down for Indian Hill. I think they're kind of looking at it the same vantage point, trying to, look at it as, we belong here, we should be here, this is ours to lose,
Oh, totally. I mean, I definitely agree with you 100%. They don't expect anything less than a state championship, and, they've got all the makings. They got the components to do so. They just haven't quite been hitting on all cylinders for the past 3 games, but that's okay. Rather work these things out now than go into the playoffs hot.
Exactly. But right now, this Indian Hill team has business to tend to as we just started the second half of play here. We've got just under 11 minutes left, and Sycamore making their first offensive threat in this half with their ball well within Indian Hill's offensive territory.
Sycamore doesn't seem to have really any organization of their offense a little bit. I see some of their attackmen out there running into each other.
Oh, yeah.
As I say that, they score a goal.
Mike Robinson just made us look like fools.
Yeah, but...
Which, if this wasn't a radio broadcast, that'd make it an easy job for him.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, he swung around and put that one in the goal to shave this lead from 5-4. And he's trying to get Sycamore right back into it, and that's only going to help. Bob, it looks like maybe the defense there, I think it was maybe Ross Beckstrom, he got spun out there, and I think he just got turned around, and he just couldn't recover in time. And Mike Robinson did what you're supposed to do and put that ball in the fish net And he did it in fine fashion.
But as I was saying, all in all, only 2 goals and just a little bit over a half of lacrosse. That's not good. That's not good if you know much about lacrosse, and you're going to need a lot more than that to beat a team like Indian Hill.
And that's an
Cole
answer
Kuzno
by
retaliates.
Cole Kuzno, yeah. He just shot it one right in there, and he scored a nice goal there, and he just shot that one right by the goalie for Sycamore, Mike Ferris, I believe, or Ryan Ferris. Nonetheless, Indian Hill is taking charge here, and I think both these teams are kind of since this one's over. Sycamore is not very lively. Indian Hill's livelier, but still nothing compared to the games of Dublin, Scioto, Moeller, even that of Marymount last week, in which they took Marymount out to the barn and beat them 14-6.
Yeah. They were beat like a redheaded stepchild, that's for sure.
Sure. Look at that ball, it just flew right out of the wickets there, and the Sycamore still got that one back in. Now, Bob, you see guys sprinting on and off the field. It just doesn't seem like it's it for any reason. Is that because of a timing deal? I mean,
yeah, I think
there's
it's
so many nooks and crannies that go on in this game. I mean, what is that the deal with the timing? It's a nice attempt here, a nice block there by Chris Stokely as we speak. It's too difficult to say what exactly happened.
To try and avoid a penalty is the reasoning behind that.
Yeah, we were talking about running on and off the field. It's a timing issue, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I don't understand the call there. Referees didn't make a signal.
Except for a point and a bit of a shakeup. Oh, yeah, look at that. And there's going to be a call there, and that's going to be on Ross Beckstermuller.
Crease violation.
Yeah. Oh, crease violation. No, that's on Sycamore. Bob, you were all over that one.
Yeah.
Like a cheap suit on an old man. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
No, that's still trying to get things figured out here. No, as we mentioned, you see the little Rugrats back there, the lacrosse kids that are, as Bobby says, imported in from Long Island with the gang from Sean Chamberlain, as David Kiriakis just flies right by the Sycamore defense. Number 16 for Sycamore, George Wright, didn't appear to have any idea of what was going on there, and he just let him fly right by him. Ironically enough, an aviator lets him fly right by.
Yeah, Lacrosse Festival going to be hosted by Laxland. It's going to be a big event. A lot of the Braves lacrosse players are going to be working it. There's going to be a lot of teams there. I definitely suggest any of you get an opportunity to attend that.
Oh, and Sycamore's coach is absolutely furious as he took his bottle, made of plastic, mind you, and totally spiked it on the ground. Whether or not he was testing the...
I think that's broken, Paul.
Yeah, it looks like it's cracked or dented of some sort.
It looks like it's leaking.
Yeah.
And he's angry.
And the lid's on, so it's got to be a crack. So I mean, we can see that from here. What he was arguing about, we're not sure. And he's even furious now. He's run out of things to chuck. So maybe a shoe or a hat's next. We have no idea, but
he's definitely wearing a hat, so that could be in line.
I think what he was upset about is I think he's finally getting his call now.
As long as he doesn't throw players.
I think that was a timing issue of some sorts, or his Sycamore man was getting hit pretty hard, but nothing that was illegal what we saw. But it had to have been a timing issue that we just talked about. Sean Chamberlain coming off the field for this Indian Hill team.
That's a surprise. You don't see that very often.
Well, this Indian Hill team's got a five-goal lead here with 8 minutes left in the third quarter. So, I mean, maybe just keeping Sean fresh in case things get kind of crazy. And plus, his brother, Gavin Chamberlain, the head coach of this Indian Hill team, is giving him a few speaks on the sideline.
Looks like he had something he really wanted to say to Sean, and it was worth taking him off the field. And this is the first time this year I believe we've seen Matt McCall at attack. You don't see that very often, but I'm sure that he will do just as good of a job, if not better, as he does at Mitty.
Great defense here by Indian Hill on number 16 for Sycamore. He was trying to get the goal as George Wright, but he just got totally harassed by two Indian Hill defenders, and the balls flew wide left, giving Ray Finkel some goosebumps, most likely. I don't want to make assumptions, though.
Outcome.
Looks like Danny Johnson comes out. And
freshman sensation Danny Johnson out, and number 24 Scott Maurer.
You know, Indian Hill does have quite a few freshmen, about 4 or 5, which is quite a few for a team with about 35 or so members. But Danny Johnson by far sees the most significant
Oh,
amount
by
of playing
far.
time,
And
yeah.
every week or every game we see him play more and more, and he very rarely, if ever, lets you down. He does a great job. We've coined the name freshman sensation for him. He's been nothing less than that and done a great job for Indian Hill. And Coach Gavin is going to be happy to have him for years to come, as
Yeah.
he just seems to get better and better every week.
Nonetheless, it seems like Sycamore is going to come down with it. Very, very little scoring here on both sides, particularly Sycamore, which, as you'll see on our scoreboard, has 5 less goals than Indian Hill, which puts them at a 5-goal deficit.
Yeah, the score's a little deceiving. Has not been a very good game. We've seen some great ones, some real barn burners this year, and this one just hasn't had the makings. I don't know what it is.
I think it's just the lack of fans really getting into it. I mean, we as announcers, we're always going to get into it,
Right.
albeit because
But we love what we do.
and people love what we do too,
people
which
love
is
our-
why
and people-
we love what we do, which all turns into love, which is a beautiful thing, Bob. But nonetheless, guys are falling around and tiptoeing left and right, and yeah. Oh, geez,
no,
yeah.
Oh no.
That was one of those immediate injuries where you hit the deck and you know something. Because Ryan, I believe it might have been Ryan Bartel.
He went down hard. He was holding his head. That is not what I and this Indian Hill Braves team want to see. That is not good.
Let's see if we can't get a camera zoomed in on there and get our guys on the sideline. See what exactly is going on.
Well,
'Cause,
he's a crucial part of this Indian Hill defense. It would be horrible to lose him. Looked like he was grabbing his head. Can't really tell what's going on.
Looks like
right
it might
now.
be his shin. We know it's not his
Maybe.
knee because it looks like he was on the deck and then he rolled up, and no, he's getting up by
Well, he's
himself
up.
now.
He's
so,
walking
yeah.
off on his own power. That's good. Shakes his head to goalie Chris Stokely. Didn't give him the signal that he's okay. He'll walk off.
No, that's surprising too, because it
Yeah.
seems like he was really in
Yeah.
bad shape.
He went
because
down hard.
He went down, and then all of a sudden, 2 guys were waving over. And it's only been about 4 days since his twin brother Chris Bartel is also on the lacrosse team. Went down with
Tore
what they
his
believe is a
ACL.
torn ACL, which
and
is
MCL.
MCL. He double dipped and took out both of them on a spill against Marymount. So
Yeah, and that was an interesting injury there. It's kind of hard to tell what happened with him as well. But we wish a fast and speedy recovery to Chris Bartel. Hopefully we'll be able to see him back sometime this year, but it's not looking good. Here comes Chris Stokely.
he passes it off.
Oh,
and he was
no,
looking
he better
to get
get
himself
back.
an
He
assist.
better get
He's
back.
going to have to pick him up and put him down
Get
here.
back.
He gets back, and he's erecting traffic to try to get guys both in goal, and that's exciting to see. But it's also might not be the wisest thing for Chris Stokely to. account.
Coincidentally, number 32, Kyle Lear, the replacement goalie for Chris Stokely, hopped in place, who is now in a defense in replacement for number 7, Ryan Bartel, who's on the sideline right now, talking with twin brother number 26, Chris Bartel, as they look like they may be discussing injuries or what they're going to do later.
I'm not sure. We'd hate to speculate.
Yeah,
but-
yeah.
And
there's
we
a
got
flag.
Laundry. Yeah, what that's going to be on.
That's going to be on the Braves.
I believe Sean. I'm
Yeah.
thinking he ran off the field, and that's taking about as well as a 45-year-old taking baby food right there, because these fans aren't liking it too much. I think it's infraction. Who's going to sit for this one? Looks like Will Vollmer, so we don't have any idea what happened there, I guess. Nonetheless, it looks like Ryan Bartel, as we mentioned, he's sitting on the bench and he's just talking with the trainers. Looks like he's going to be fine. He probably could come back in this game, but the issue not in doubt as of now. I mean, anything obviously can happen. Heck, five goals in lacrosse is like it's like a home run, if you will, in baseball. I mean, get a couple of guys on base, and before you know it, momentum on your side. Nonetheless, right now, it looks like he's just going to sit down and get a quick breather.
I think that's what Coach Gavin's thinking, that with the situation being up by 5, Braves not really seeming to have any sort of struggle or much offense, being put forth by Sycamore, may keep one of his best defenders out and give him time to maybe prevent any sort of serious injury.
Going in for him, it looks like Kyle Lear.
Yeah.
He went in, he plays defense, and he also played a little bit of goalie today. He's the backup goalie.
Well, he's nothing shabby. I mean,
Whistle here is going to be Well, Bob, the Zebras here are having a little debate on what the call is.
Looked like the ball had been thrown out of bounds, but they can't tell who had gone off.
Nonetheless, we still have 4:44 left in this third period of play. Plenty of lacrosse left, ladies and gentlemen, as it's a 7-2 Indian Hill lead. As this Indian Hill team has played very, very well throughout this game, yet it's still, still not put this Sycamore team out of reach.
And Danny Johnson and Will Fulmer return to the game for the Braves. I think that'll take Matt McCall off of attack duty and put him back to
A role he's more
midi
familiar with.
where he feels more comfortable. And you can just tell he loves that position more than he likes playing attack. He's
Just the swagger. Right?
Oh, just the swagger, the attitude, just everything that he brings with it. The intensity that he plays that position with is something to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's you said it, Bob.
Yeah.
Looks like Cole Kuzma was debating a shot from outside as he passes down to Eddie Ferrugia. That's actually Danny Johnson, freshman sensation, who passes it in to Matt McCaw, who gets it right off goalie Ryan Ferris, who made a nice stop there.
That's going to go out of bounds. No, it held up.
Stay
This
in bounds,
brand new spanking brand new turf.
That slowed that down a little bit, yeah. And there's 3:45 left in the quarter here. As the wind is starting to pick up now, Bob, people who haven't played lacrosse before, how much does the wind affect, not just the flight of the ball, but just, how much velocity you have to put on it, the goalie and stuff like that? It could affect it there.
Hey, the wind this insignificant will not affect the flight of the ball too much. That ball's pretty heavy. It's probably 8 ounces or so.
Yeah.
Maybe 10. And they get that thing moving pretty well.
Nonetheless, Indian Hill swinging around here, trying to get something going. Right now, I think they're just in kill offense, if you will, just trying to get something slowed down. And I can tell you what Sycamore's coach is killing. He's killing lots of calories on the sideline. He's dancing up and down there, and he was throwing his bottle of sorts. And there's something, I guess he's not liking some call down there. We can't figure. He was upset over a timing call or something down there. Maybe he's frustrated at his team's play. We're not sure as of now, but
he can have his own workout program. He's moving pretty well.
He's calf burn or something.
Yeah. Cutting the calories.
Here comes Eddie Ferrugia outside. Indian Hill's definitely in a stall offense here, if you will, and why shouldn't they be? As Sycamore's offense has been ineffective as of this moment in the game, and Indian Hill's been able to score at will seemingly when need to.
Yeah, I think the Braves are just trying to get through this a little bit. Sycamore defense, as we said, showing minimum resistance.
They do have an advance here. Sycamore passes it up. It's a 3-on-3. A pass across the middle that just cannot be brought in by George Wright. Yeah, that's been the story all night. They've had a chance, but when they make that pass, cut in to get that goal opportunity, they just can't convert. And, against a team like Indian Hill, or heck, against any team when you're playing lacrosse, you have to convert on those kind of shots.
Oh, I mean, it's a must. And, that this Sycamore team has seemed to kind of, fall apart the seam a little bit in this second half, and have not played the same level of play that they played, early on the first half. And Sycamore player grabbed the face mask of number 10, Cole Kuzno.
Yeah. Yeah, he hit him right in the face, to quote many of the fans here.
Yeah.
And he brought him right down, and he actually got the shot off.
IH fans very upset by that, and as they should be.
And if they awarded style points for that shot, which of course they do not.
Well, I know in football that was, 15 yards, first down, but not in lacrosse here. It's a physical game.
Oh yeah, he grabbed a good hold of that one. And he hung on for dear life. Nonetheless, a no call, and right now a non-issue as Indian Hill still leads 7-2.
And I can't agree
as they
with
could have
that.
used that extra goal.
If you're going to stay light on the penalties, that's fine. But things like that, you got to call that. I mean, that's an injury waiting to happen. We can't be.
And we've seen
that
plenty of injuries this year, guys.
Yeah.
Turf toe on this new turf and stuff. And a shot opportunity by Sycamore whizzes right, much to the dismay of the Sycamore coaching staff. Which
come on.
is numbering 6.
Yeah. Sycamore coach still seems to be pumped up.
And we got Kyle Lear coming out right now. Probably to get a quick blow on the sidelines, most likely.
Yeah, came in and did a good job for the Braves there.
Just a quick mention here. This is boys varsity lacrosse from Indian Hill Tomahawk Stadium. Brand spanking new turf and brand spanking new light bulbs. Scored to Bobby Schmidt.
Yeah.
And,
They increased the wattage this year.
nonetheless, this Indian Hill team in a brand new game is Sycamore can score a goal here most likely and swing the momentum. At the end of the third quarter, we're going to be joined by 3 of our colleagues.
Yep.
Somehow, we have 2 microphones, 5 guys, but here at HTN, we're math geniuses, and we'll figure a way to wire it through. Nonetheless, Sycamore with the shot on the goal.
Come on.
And before we knew it, right underneath our noses, Sycamore had something up their sleeve. And they fired one right in, and it's just a 7-3 game with 40 seconds left in the third quarter. And right now, Bob, you know, we've kind of fell asleep with the switch, something
Yeah, we did a little
do
bit.
quite often,
Yeah.
nonetheless. But
While driving and doing many
they
other
found
things
they
also.
found a way, operated heavy machinery.
Yeah.
They found a way to get back in this game, and before you know it, this Indian Hill team is going to have to play their best because they need this win, and they can't afford a loss here.
No, they definitely can't. But Ryan Bartel back at defense for the Indian Hill Braves, which is good to see him back. Coach Gavin decided to put him back in after he left the game what seemed to be a head injury. Can't quite tell, didn't get word. Our stat guys on it.
Our stat guys
yeah,
are on that right
yeah.
as we speak.
They're all
Clark-
over it like a cheap suit.
As we mentioned, yeah, they're really riding it. As we said, Clark Brent has the day off tonight, well deserved. So,
And he's being missed. Braves defense playing rather intensely. A nice stop by Chris Stokely on a
Chris Stokely, who's
nice shot attempt.
he's been running up and down the field all night, more times than a Catholic priest at a high mass. He's been up and down, left and right, and he's just been he's trying to score goals and everything. But he did a good job of stopping that ball. He's one of Indian Hill's more solid players.
Yeah, definitely. That's a
And
senior
that's-
leadership.
Up. You want to finish up your
No, go
thought?
ahead, Paul. That's
Fine,
all
why
you.
not? All right. End of the third quarter. Indian Hill 7 and Sycamore 3. As we said, we'd be joined by our esteemed 3 colleagues here. We got Brian Compton who'd like to say a few speaks on behalf of himself. Brian, take it away.
Waiting on Brian Compton here, preparing to mic him up. As many of you may know, Brian Compton is a expert tennis player and a stellar athlete for the Indian Hill varsity tennis program. And he's an Indian Hill lacrosse fanatic. Brian, how does it feel to be here at the game tonight?
Well, Bob, it feels great. I really appreciate you guys calling me up. in the
Oh, yeah.
stands. I've been supporting the team all year, and I really appreciate this.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to have you. And I'm going to turn you over and let Paul handle this interview.
No problem. Well, Paul, after 3.
Well, Brian, let me just say to echo the same sentiments Bobby had. Just a extreme pleasure to have you in the booth, you know.
Well,
It's,
Paul-
it's great to have guys get up here. You know, it's cold and blustery out there. An athlete of your magnitude, why not, you know?
Well, Paul, to be honest with you, the pleasure's all on this side of the table. It's all on this side.
Well, I beg to differ because right now we just feel delighted to have you up here. Anything you've noticed about this lacrosse game? You're a tennis star, as Bobby put it. And, you know, just watching this lacrosse game, do you see anything big going on? Or?
Well, Paul, one thing I know about is footing, okay? Footing on this new turf, you got the pellets are still kicking up.
Sure.
Looks like Lear, I saw Lear running out there. He looked like he had a little bit of trouble with his footing.
Right.
He's still digging. What I like about our guys, they're giving 100%.
Right. As we mentioned, 100.
So Sycamore with the ball, they're working it around. Kicking off the start of the fourth quarter. Indian Hill up 7-3.
Yeah, me and Paul are going to share the honor of being up here and interviewing Brian Compton. It's a true pleasure having him up here. Brian, you go to a lot of games. The Braves look a little bit flat tonight to you, or are
Well-
they playing to the level of their competition maybe?
Bobby, this often happens on Friday. You know,
Right,
it's at the end
right.
of a long week. You never know what can happen.
Music Fest,
Right, we had Music Fest today.
as we
Pretty short
mentioned earlier.
attendance, though, but you still expect the coach
Oh,
to be
yeah,
able to juice
yeah.
the guys up before the game.
I think a lot of guys are preoccupied. You got SATs tomorrow and
It's true.
things of that nature, you know.
So Sycamore working the ball around.
Yeah.
Just having trouble finding their way.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is a real treat that we have here for you tonight. Indian Hill's tennis star and soon-to-be state champs,
Oh, we
So it's going to happen. Brian Compton with us. And
Sean Chamberlain with the shot on goal.
yeah. Brian even getting a little familiar here with the announcer we got going.
Well, you know, I'd like to take this opportunity to forward my broadcasting career. I know IHGN's a terrific network.
Well, you're starting in the right place as I'm now back after my mild hiatus. Because, you know, as IHTN's known, we're the most comprehensive sit-around television network in the domestic country. That includes Canada, which soon will most likely be part of the United States. I'll call that a prediction of myself. Nonetheless, we have a stoppage of action here, which is the perfect time to get on with more of an interview with Brian Compton. You know, footing. We were talking footing before I had to leave to try to recover an extra mic, which we just can't find at this moment. But nonetheless, as you get a quick view of this Sycamore team that right now is down 7-3, you know, footing, it's big, it's huge.
Well,
because
you know,
without your feet, you're nothing. Lieutenant Dan said the best. You got to wear cushion-soled socks out there. That's
right.
huge.
One thing that's important on this turf is socks. And once those black pellets get in your socks, you know, the tide can change. And this late in the game, Sycamore's working on desperation, you know.
Right.
They're going to be running the ball up and down the field. And without clean socks, I don't know what they're going to do.
Because that is a big factor. You know, you see this turf on TV, you don't really, you can't see it, but when you get down on it, the little black pellets, I mean, they're, you have to wear a high ankle sock if you choose to do that. That might be your biggest mistake, because they get stuck up in there. As you'll see, a lot of guys just go with the low ankle sock, albeit cushion-soled, not cushion-soled. That's up to their choice, of course.
Well, I mean, that really kicks into Indian Hill's home field advantage.
Right.
They've played on the stuff. They know about high socks.
They practice on
If
it.
you take a look down here at Matt McCaw, he's got his high socks. He's had them all season. He's familiar with the turf. He's
Alex
got the
Cole,
advantage.
he knows.
Alex Cole, of course.
It's all just
Ross
about your
Beckstermiller's
group.
going with the extreme high socks. He knows the extreme risk that can happen.
He's a senior captain, so that's
Right,
just,
that's the leadership you would
it's
expect.
the nature.
Shot on goal.
Now, you know, you're working the color commentating there. You know, just a few IHTN words of wisdom there.
Paul, I appreciate it.
Sure. I mean, this is a great opportunity. We are glad to have Brian Compton back. As we have Bobby Schmidt back right now, we got to go back to our usual cast. Looks like we're fresh out of microphones, but it was great to have Brian Compton come along. We were talking socks. We were talking footing. We were talking everything.
Talking IH tennis, and what a pleasure it was to have him up
In case you haven't seen him, Brian Compton, as Bobby said it best, soon to be state champs, and we're great to have him along. Nonetheless, we get a lacrosse game going on here.
What
As,
Another stand-up guy in Brian Compton. What
Sure.
a great guy he is. He's a big fan of IHTN. He's a big fan of lacrosse, and he's a student of the game, if you will. He's trying to learn all that he can.
And here we go, Bob. I hate to cut
Yeah.
you off here, but this tide is turning. I don't know if it's the socks. I don't know if it's the footing, if these guys are catching on to this
I
stuff.
think it's a combination of all of them.
This crowd is stunned. Here we are, everybody, up in the press box
Might
here.
be the light bulbs.
Yeah, it might be the light bulbs. Nonetheless, we got 9:30 left in this lacrosse game, an absolute boatload of time. And Sycamore is only 3 down in this game. And right now, as we saw this coming, when it seemed like both teams had kind of shut it down and called it a night, you know, Sycamore has stormed back, and Indian Hill is right now playing a little lackluster, and it's cost them their lead, and it's just shaved down to 3. Bob.
And if I'm Coach Gavin Chamberlain right now, I'm definitely. I mean, you got to get your team back in.
A little
this.
upset,
I mean, I'd be frustrated. You know, they haven't really put this team away, you know, the way they had planned to. And the way that I know that was part of his game plan, was to put these guys away early, and he has not done so. Indian Hill, on paper at least, a much better lacrosse team than the Sycamore Aviators team, but have not played like that tonight, and we have to see more. And as I say that, there's Will Ballmer.
All right, Ballmer. Yes, he puts that one in.
Yeah, way to go, Ballmer.
There it is. You know, as we said right now, though, you know, Indian Hill, you hate to look ahead.
Yeah.
But to look ahead for Indian Hill, next week they got St. X Tuesday, or Wednesday, excuse me, and then they got Upper Arlington. Two
That
offenders who
is
are
gonna be a game.
have a history of just being lacrosse powerhouses. And Indian Hills, they've got to play every game like they're playing those tough competition teams. And right now, Sycamore is starting to give them all they can handle. But after that great effort by Will Ballmer, Indian Hills' lead is now back up to 4, and it looks like the fire is back in their belly of sorts.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they. As soon as Sycamore scored that goal to cut the lead to 3, I think the Braves kind of turned it on, if you will. And you know, I don't think that the game's going to get out of hand, but you just got to keep it from getting their way.
Just a truly beautiful setting, though. We've got Mount Indian Hill overlooking the background. And as we said, it's starting to look a little dark over there. When it gets dark, that shows the storm's usually a brewing. So this is just a time that Indian Hill needs to get this
Yeah, and
game
at almost
going.
9 o'clock at night, it also means that nighttime's approaching.
Well, with this wattage, it's too tough to tell. But
Yeah. Well, I mean, it almost seems like daylight out there, but believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, nighttime is approaching. Sky getting progressively darker, and as evening sets upon us, Indian Hill Braves are taking on Sycamore Aviators. If you're just joining us, it's 8-4 with 8:06 to play in the fourth quarter.
And we are approaching the 8-minute mark here, and right now this Indian Hill team is they're pushing forward, and now they're starting to play more aggressively now. And a good sign of them is they're starting to feed off the competition's tenacity. You know, they're matching them wit for wit. You know, they didn't really start playing tenacious again until Sycamore started getting more fired up, and now that they are, Indian Hill's matched them and then some as a more intense play has shown, Bob.
Well, Brian Compton leaving the press box now. We just want to comment what a stand-up guy he is.
Just
and,
the aura that was here when
a
he was
real
here.
anchor on that Indian Hill tennis team, along with co-captain Mike McCarthy, who is also a junior, as is Brian. Both do wonderful things for that program, and will do
tennis.
so.
Nonetheless, oh yeah, look at that, a nice slash across the head. It looked like it was inadvertent, but nonetheless, looks like number 3 for Sycamore, Dan Hoyland, who we had trouble announcing his name at the beginning. It looks like he's going to serve time for that slash.
Oh, I mean, clean hit. Didn't look like it was anything intentional.
Yeah, just one of those things.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. You know, still trying to play aggressive. You know, the fight's not out of him yet. He's still, you know, I mean, it's only a 4-point game. I mean, folks, I mean, it may seem like there's not much going on, but 4 points can be done in 7 minutes faster than you can blink an eye.
In fact, it looks like the fans here at Tomahawk Stadium are looking to get out their lacrosse sticks and are getting a little pickup game in themselves.
It's always good to see, you know, the Indian Hill youth up and around the stadium, you know, throwing a little bit, playing a little bit of catch with their sticks. It's a good thing to see.
Shot on goal there by Indian Hill, recovered by Danny Johnson after an aggressive play.
Freshman sensation, Danny Johnson.
He recovered, and Indian Hill's going to have more chance to probably work on that stall offense, which we saw most of the third quarter to kill time when they had the lead. Cole Cousineau tried to recover and just got a little lazy with it, but he tries to come back and pops him pretty good.
Oh, nice play by Cole.
Yeah, he didn't give up on that play after he just got a little lazy on his spin move.
Speed demon Sean Chamberlain around back of the goal.
Shoots off and a cut. And that looked like Matt McCaw after a great beat from Sean Chamberlain. That right there just shows, you know, Sean Chamberlain's goals are significantly down, but his assists are up for that reason. He's now looking to make the pass and make the shot.
And also belated happy birthday to number 1 Matt McCaw for the Braves. Turned 18 yesterday.
Big old 1/8.
Yeah, big 1/8. Now can vote.
Seems like just yesterday he was a big old 1/7.
Yeah. Now he's an adult in the eyes of the U.S. government.
Sure. Well, you know, Uncle Sam's going to be coming after him soon, but right now he's got bigger problems, right? As Sycamore is coming right after him. After he just widened that score to 9-4 in Indian Hill's favor. With just over 6 minutes left, and Indian Hill's got the possession. So right now their mindset has to be play calm, play controlled. Let's play this clock.
Coach Gavin's not calling up the dogs by any stretch. I mean, he's still got them in attack mode.
Well, by no means.
That
right.
fire in the belly that you so often talk about, they've got that. And there's a goal.
By Cole Cousineau. They put that one right in the back of the fish net, out of the hands of Ryan Ferris, and that's going to signal a timeout by Sycamore's coach. And you know, he's run out of water bottles to break or smash or dent. You know, we hate to speculate on that matter. But
well, if we could get some camera action down there, take a look at that Sycamore sideline. There seem to be 3 broken water bottles, if not more.
Debris of sorts.
Yeah, debris. Well, that's actually 4 now that I count.
Nonetheless, you have to admire him for his want to win.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's doing a fine job out there, it seems like. Both these teams, you know, we really don't know exactly what a lacrosse coach does because we've never been primary sources of the game.
Right.
But it seems like, you know, both these coaches are both very fired up. And it seems like, you know, Sycamore, hey, they still have a chance here. I mean, 6 goals, that's nothing. We saw in the Dublin-Scioto game, Scioto scored 2 goals in a matter of a minute and a half, and Indian Hill scored seemingly 4 in 2 minutes. So, I mean, Sycamore, I mean, both has enough caliber from what we've seen tonight to do that. You know, when they're playing tenacious and they're playing aggressive, they can do anything from what we've seen. And Indian Hill, obviously, maybe a bit more talented from their Division II state championship ring would tell you, but you know, if you let your guard down against Sycamore or any other team, they're going to come back and bite you in the rear end, Bob.
Yeah, and you know, Braves moving up to Division I this year, I think, has been a new challenge for them, a big challenge for them. But they've done well with the adaptation. I mean, still playing a lot of the local games, the city games, but competition that they draw now from places such as Columbus and Kentucky and certain points like that has been a lot better. And as you're talking about Scioto, we saw them come down, and what a team!
Just an absolutely incredible team. They had just some behemoth of people there.
Yeah. I actually I had heard from I believe it was Midi Matt McCall was telling me that Scioto was number 31 in the nation.
Ah.
So something to credit them with, and the Braves hung with them neck and neck. Had a nail biter of a loss in overtime, and but they seem to have recovered from
Great
that.
defense by Ross Beckstrom. He was all over his man there. Oh, but he slips through, and that's number 16, Sycamore. George Wright, we've called his name a number of times tonight. He seems to be Sycamore's most solid player of the night as he's been up and down, left and right, going through this Indian Hill defense and making a big impact.
Go-to guy.
Bob, have you seen the new Indian Hill Braves lacrosse shirt?
I actually have one of those, Paul.
Do you ever?
Yeah, I do.
They look 100% cotton from here. It looks like.
Yeah, quality made. It's a good shirt. And, it summarizes everything that Indian Hill lacrosse has got going for it this year.
New team, new coach, new field, new division.
But the War Drum still beats the same.
There it is. And right now the War Drums beating Indian Hill's favor after Sycamore's goal, albeit Indian Hill still has a 10-5 lead with 5 minutes left in this half.
A lot of people on the ground there.
Yeah. There we go. There we go. Sycamore comes out here. Great defense by Indian Hill to force the turnover. Just been the story of Sycamore all night. Indian Hill's been so tenacious on defense and offense that they forced Sycamore into a panic of sorts.
Number 15, Mike Dorn with the ball. Good to see him back. Haven't talked about him a lot tonight, but
he's been relatively quiet
compared
to other games.
Yeah, compared to what he's capable of, he's been quiet, but he's still played a very solid game for Indian Hill. Maybe not being on the, having any assists or being on the end of that with any goals, but nevertheless played a very good game, and it's good to see Mike back.
Here we go. We're getting more tenacious now as they're going to call a foul thingy.
A push.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be on Sycamore. Sycamore's number 11 came there. Preston Wallace, a senior.
Kind of tackled number 14 attackman Tyler Wendling for the Braves, and getting a new look of personnel in here.
Indian Hill does have some fresh faces in there.
As I think he's Coach Gavin's trying to get some of those guys in here. It's senior night.
Tyler Wendling.
A senior. For those of you who don't know him.
Yeah.
He's a real crowd pleaser.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a new team, new field, new division. But
number 19 in there for the Braves. I believe that's Matt Scharfenberger.
Right now, Indian Hill calls a timeout, so maybe that's going to be the final signal. With 4 minutes left in this game, Indian Hill 5-goal lead that he's going to try to get in his big, try to get in his subs now to take out his big names. Bob, you speculating that?
Yeah, a lot of seniors getting put in now. A lot of guys who don't see a lot of playing time generally, but but it's good to see those guys out there and good to give them a look of. Maybe the field, what they can do, and hopefully they can enjoy their senior night. Number 30, Drew Herman out there is a senior. Looked like number 19, believe that is Matt Scharfenberger out there. 23 appears to be Christian Guidi.
We're coming to you live, tape delay style, from Tomahawk Stadium. 4 minutes left in the fourth period. Indian Hill leading 10-5. I'm Paul Neihart, alongside Bobby Schmidt, who
it's always a pleasure to be here.
As the sentiments issued by Brian Compton, the guy we had just previous with him and his posse, if you will.
Yeah.
And they both had beautiful things to say about this new ballpark, Mount Indian Hill, etc. The Brave team themselves, and interesting insight from a player who, we brought up the point before the turf, and we never really went in depth enough to talk about just the just the intangibles of socks and shoes and
Yeah.
footing and stuff, which
Oh, it's
obviously is
crucial.
big because you don't play this game on your hands. This
No.
isn't a game of Twister, if you will. This is serious stuff. You need a serious sock. Nonetheless, 4 minutes left. The Sycamore's going to have possession here. They're in a attack mode, definitely. With 4 minutes, they need 5 goals. They're looking to get anything they can here. But Indian Hill's not letting their guard down by any means, and they're playing more ferocious than ever.
Seems to be maybe a push on Sycamore. Sycamore coach is unhappy with that call as number 1, Matt McCall brings it up for the Braves.
Yeah. There's a lot that could have happened there that we don't know what he could have been arguing about. But
Here's Ryan Bartel. Good to see him back.
yeah, he looks back to normal. So
Yeah.
he just got a little shooken up. Maybe a wind got knocked out of him. So.
Got his bell rung a little bit. That'll happen. He's a tough kid.
Goal,
There's a
Kuzma
goal.
fires in the goal.
Goal!
And that right now, ladies and gentlemen, we hate to see it. We hate to say it, but maybe that one puts this one, that one on ice. That could have been the nail in the coffin. The last word said, the old lady singing. The last shot fired, Don't fire till you see the white in their eyes. That could have been the last thing. Is now Indian Hill's putting in all kinds of guys. George Tenike. Scott Randall's going to go in for the face-off. Mike Moran's in. They got a whole bunch of new faces, which is good to see this Indian Hill team play so well and go out in front 11-5.
Good to see this senior lineup out there. Coach Gavin, though, hasn't changed up his defense at all. He's got an all-new attack and all-new midfield in, but still the same defense, which Chris Stokely has not left. Yeah.
Which is a smart. I mean.
Yeah. I mean,
at least leaving your defense, and heck, half of them are seniors. Chris
Yeah.
Stokely, Ross Beckstrom-Mueller, both seniors themselves. And I don't see Sean Chamberlain out there, so we did take out his seniors. So
Well,
still 2 of the 3 senior captains for Indian Hill are out there.
well, this game's starting to get out of hand. I don't think you want to also
Risk injury.
risk injury with the
Right.
injury that the Braves have faced these past 2 games.
Turf toe.
Yeah, you don't want to leave them in any longer than you have to.
Ooh. Chris Stokely tried to launch it downfield, but it's picked off by Sycamore. Comes back and shoots a little urgent there, as he could have gone further in there. And an aggressive play by Chris Stokely
Nice
to give
hustle
Indian Hill the
by
pass
Chris.
back. He used that fishnet. He used that fishnet to his advantage there by sticking that way out and made himself the closest one to that shot.
Yeah.
Gave Indian Hill the possession back, and he's going to truck all the way out of the goal with it, which we've seen plenty of times tonight. He's killing time, and we've seen this also too. So.
Braves running around frantically. Chris Stokely doesn't look like he's making any. Wow, nice little athletic move there by
oopsie-daisy
Chris Stokely.
He's
yeah.
really doing something weird now. Huh. Okay. Well, there's that. Now it looks like Matt Scharfenberger's going to get the ball now. Another senior. He travels it down the field. He's going to try to get a shot off. No, he dishes it off to Tyler Windling, who couldn't handle it. Maybe a little bit too much mustard on the hot dog there. And just a little too hot to handle.
I think the nerves set in a little bit on that one.
All fresh faces for Indian Hill.
all fresh faces.
So. Nonetheless, 2 minutes left. 2 minutes left.
Ill-advised pass there by, looked like, Weedy.
Oh, it looks like an inadvertent trip there with a no call. That might have been a good call there, as I think they might have gotten just a little tangled up. Yet Sycamore is not satisfied with it. Things getting real sloppy down here as we're coming down to the home stretch here at senior night at Tomahawk Stadium, where Indian Hill leads Sycamore 11-5.
Yeah. I was actually injured, ladies and gentlemen, in the.
Oh! Oh, hey! Drew Herman just absolutely took his guy to town and just lit him up. And that was an aggressive hit. And he's Drew Herman, another senior. He got his fair shake by seeing some playing time, and he made everything of it by making the highlight reel.
And there's going to be a penalty.
Great toss there by the ref. Seems like we
Injured in
maybe
one,
contamination up here, Bob, or
Yeah,
we're gonna have
SARS.
to quarantine this to get some type of spill up here, some sticky fluid. Nonetheless, we'll not worry about that too much. 1:15 left as the fans are now filing for the exits here at Tomahawk Stadium. Nonetheless, Indian Hill shuffling their guys in and out with 1:16 left here in the fourth quarter. Trying to see what's going on. This game coming down to the final wire here. Off goes
Minute 15 remaining.
Now Indian Hill's taking off their defense. Ryan
Yeah.
Bartel goes out in favor of Franco Aguria, another freshman
Yeah.
we talked about. One of the 4 freshmen or so on this Indian Hill team.
And then sophomores Michael Muth and 34 Scott Perrin.
Everybody's
game.
seen some PT tonight.
Yeah,
And,
that's good to see.
And a whistle against Indian Hill here. Not really sure what that's all about. And back on the field is Sean Chamberlain. Senior captain is one of his second to last games here on senior night. He's coming in and he's going to see his last action of PT. So.
Good hustle by these fresh faces in for the Braves. As Sycamore, though, doesn't seem that they've had any sort of significant personnel change.
No, nothing we can see of.
No.
Then again, it doesn't seem like their depth is as good as Indian Hills. Nonetheless, we got 30 seconds left in this game. Sycamore is winding this one down on the wire, maybe accepting the inevitable. As Indian Hill has come to play tonight, they played a good game. Not a great game to their standards, but good enough for the win, which is most important. As Chris Stokely, who's played a very well-rounded game tonight, stops that one for the final time as he launches it downfield, which will go in Indian Hill possession, maybe. Is there going to be a fight? Oh,
wow.
Yeah, there you go. Looks like Christian Guidi got a little lazy there and just got knocked over, and the legal procedure is going to be called on that. Nonetheless, 10 seconds left. We have a little final highlight action there. That just shows in this game, if you keep your head down, get your chin down towards the level of the floor, you might have a mistake, but a shot there by Guidi to get back was all for naught.
That's the game!
As Indian Hill has taken this game from Sycamore 11-5 in fine fashion. I'm Paul Neihart alongside Bobby Schmidt from Tomahawk Stadium on senior night here. We'll see you guys next week in one of the biggest games of the year. Upper Arlington's going to come to town. Bobby, any final words on tonight's big game?
Well, you know, looking at the game, it wasn't the best game played by the Braves, and they've certainly had better. But, you know, it's a win nevertheless, and you know, tomorrow we won't remember what the final score is. All we'll know that it's a W in the books for the Braves. And it was a pleasure to be here once again. And back to you, Paul.
From Tomahawk Stadium, I'm Paul Neihart from IHTN alongside Bobby Schmidt. We'll see you next week, guys.
Good night, everyone. Yeah. How with you, though? Brother, Gavin Chamberlain, the head coach. Your thoughts on state?
Thoughts on state, you know, we have to step it up. We have to play top level notch. We have to play big lacrosse every game. You know, next week we got X on Wednesday and UA on Friday. We win those 2 games, I think we're going to be pretty good going into the playoffs.
Sean Chamberlain, #1 in the charts, #1 in your hearts, always does a great job for us, and we'll send it back to you.
Gabby? We're down on the field post game here with Chris Stokely, goalie. You know, you come out of the goal a lot. You know, you're up and down the field, side on the sideline. Explain, you know, your technique in doing that.
Well, when the team doesn't play me, and I've got these massive legs of mine, I just had to.
Legs of oak, right?
Yeah, exactly. I stay in the goal all day. I feel like I need to get a little exercise in, and it sometimes works and sometimes it doesn't. It scares people in the stands, but hey, it works most of the time.
Well, you're a scary guy, so that's the nature of the beast.
Exactly.
Now, you know, we were looking up there, we're talking about the most solid player on the team and stuff, and you being the senior, Discuss senior leadership and what it means to you. Is that a role that becomes natural after your experience, or what's the deal with that?
Well, I mean, in the past years we've had a lot of senior mishaps where people have done pranks and stuff. But this year I think we have a really good, solid senior team. The captains, me, Roth, Sean, and I, we're doing keeping the team together. And the rest of the seniors, they're stepping up. Like Wendling, Richie Guidi, Christian Schaefer, they're all stepping up and playing to par. It's pretty amazing.
The only prank this Indian Hill team is going to be doing is win the Pole Out State Championship Division I this year.
There you go.
And go Dubs in the ring. Chris Stokely, great to have you post game.
Paul.
We'll look forward to seeing you next week down on the field.